How much is enough? Enough money, enough success, enough love, enough proof that you matter. We chase targets that keep moving. We hit milestones that once felt impossible and still go to bed feeling behind. What if enough isn't out there at all, but buried under fear, comparison, and noise? Tonight, we travel through a dark kingdom, a haunted king, and a restless future civilization to uncover a simple truth. You were never meant to live as a bottomless pit. You were meant to live as a full human being. In the kingdom of Everdusk, even the sunrise felt poor. In Everdusk, the sun never rose higher than the mountains. The sky stayed copper and dim, as if the world was stuck between night and morning. People believed the light was dying, so they mined star embers from deep caverns, hoarding them in jars, stacking them in towers, praying that one day they would have enough to fix the sky. Their queen, Lyria, carried the heaviest burden. As a child, she watched her mother whisper, "Collect more, Lyria. One day we'll have enough to be safe." So as queen, she drove her people hard. More embers, more caves, more risk, more fear. One night, a small boy approached her tower. He held a single glowing ember in both hands. "Your Majesty," he asked softly, "how many do we need before we can rest?" The question pierced her armor in a way no sword ever had. She had numbers for everything: stores, soldiers, walls, weapons, but no number for peace. That night, unable to sleep, Lyria knelt beneath the ancient star tree, rooted at the edge of the world. She poured out baskets of embers, begging the tree to blaze, to finally make the sky bright. Nothing happened. Exhausted, she collapsed, and for the first time, she cried not for her people, but for herself. You do not need more light, you need fewer cages for it. The next dawn, something changed. Not the sky, the people. Lyria ordered the embers to be shared, not stored. Homes lit up softly, songs returned, the world was still dim, but no longer desperate. Everdusk never became a land of blazing daylight, but it became a place where warmth was enough. Centuries ago, a king tried to conquer the feeling of not enough by conquering everyone else. In a forgotten corner of medieval Europe, legends speak of King Aldrin of the Iron Crown. He was born in winter famine. As a boy, he watched people scrape frozen mud for roots. He saw his mother trade her wedding ring for a sack of grain. Hunger etched itself into his bones. When Aldrin finally claimed the throne, he swore a sacred vow. "My kingdom will never starve again. We will have enough of everything." At first, the vow seemed noble. He rebuilt granaries, protected trade roads, stored grain for hard seasons. But the shadow of his childhood never left. Soon, enough was no longer about survival. It was about control. He raised more armies, took more land, demanded tribute from villages that had never seen his face. Gold poured into his vaults, steel filled his armories, maps of his growing empire covered the walls of his war room. Yet Aldrin slept badly. He woke sweating from nightmares of empty bowls. The more he had, the more he feared losing. A monk named Syrian, the royal scribe, watched this with quiet sorrow. In his journal he wrote, "His barns overflow, but his heart is a drought." One evening, after another victory, Aldrin stood alone above his capital. Below him, torches flickered like captive stars. He should have felt triumphant. Instead, he felt hollow. He turned to his old advisor, Marek, and whispered, "Tell me the truth. If we take one more kingdom, will it finally be enough?" Marek did not bow. He simply said, "You can fill your coffers, my king, but you cannot fill a wound with gold." Aldrin's empire eventually crumbled, not from lack, but from unrest. His people were tired of feeding an appetite that never learned to say, "This is sufficient." History doesn't just warn us about greed, it warns us that when enough is measured only in power and possession, we become prisoners of our own fear. In the year 3187, humanity had outgrown scarcity, but not emptiness. By 3187, the Aeon system had solved almost everything. Energy, endless, food, printed, illness, patched at the level of code and cells. Yet citizens of Aeon 9 were anxious. Their lives were a constant scroll. New upgrades, new implants, new experiences to collect and share. Every person had a value index, a number measuring wealth, skills, connections, influence. People refreshed it compulsively. If the number went up, relief. If it dropped, panic. Asha Vey, systems engineer, spent her days improving this index, making it more accurate, more detailed, more addictive. One cycle, a minor glitch, crashed the index for 6 hours. The entire city spiraled. People felt lost, invisible, worthless without their numbers. Asha watched crowds trembling, crying in the streets, because they couldn't see a score next to their faces. Something inside her broke. She booked a solitary flight to the edge of the Aeon Nebula, where communication delays made constant updates impossible. There, she met the echoes, non-physical beings that pulsed with shifting colors and feelings. They asked her a question in a language of light and emotion. Why do you count what will vanish at the border of death? Asha had no answer. The echoes formed a single piercing phrase in her mind. Enough is when you stop confusing your metrics with your existence. Asha returned to Aeon 9 changed. She began dismantling the index, teaching a quiet rebellion, being present in a conversation, holding eye contact, experiencing awe. These could not be measured, yet they were the moments that made life feel full. The future warns us, if we let numbers define our enough, we'll always feel like a fraction. So, what about you, right now watching this? Let's step away from imaginary kingdoms, forgotten kings, and distant galaxies. Let's step into your room, your thoughts, your life. Where does your idea of enough come from? Maybe you think you'll be enough when you earn a certain salary, when you look a certain way, when your work is recognized, when someone finally loves you the way you hoped. Maybe you carry a quiet sentence inside you. I'm not there yet, not successful enough, not smart enough, not kind enough, not healed enough. We treat our worth like a project, a building under endless construction, scaffolding everywhere, no move-in date. But here is the truth you were never clearly told. Your inherent worth is not a progress bar. It doesn't go up when you achieve more, and it doesn't go down when you fail. Your skills grow, your impact grows, your understanding grows, but your basic worth, that was whole the day you were born, and it's still whole right now. Enough begins the moment you stop auditioning for your own life. This doesn't mean you stop improving. It means improvement is no longer powered by self-hatred. Instead of, I must fix myself because I'm not enough, It becomes, I care about myself, so I want to grow. You can want more money without believing poverty makes you worthless. You can work on your body without believing your current one is shameful. You can chase bigger dreams without despising the chapter you're in. Try this simple shift. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over your chest and tell yourself quietly, I am allowed to rest before I am finished. Not because you did everything today, not because you were perfect, but because being human is enough to deserve a moment of peace. When you live from that place, goals become expressions of who you are, not desperate attempts to prove that you deserve to exist. That is where enough finally starts to feel real. Stay with this feeling for a moment. You've walked through Everdusk, where fear made the sky feel broken. You've watched a king lose himself in the hunger for more. You've seen a future where numbers tried to replace the soul. All of it to come back here, to you, to this exact second. You are not a storage room waiting to be filled. You are not a glitching index yearning for a higher score. You are a living story, still in progress, already meaningful. From here, chase what matters. Build, create, love, heal, but let it come from fullness, not panic. And when that old question returns, how much is enough? Smile and answer, right now, as I breathe, I am enough, and that is enough.